hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. For tonight's podcast episode, I have the Boston Badass Paige with me. Say hello to everybody.
Hey man, no, I'm so excited to talk to you about this movie. I mean, we're a week late from Friday the 13th, but that's why I thought this was the perfect movie to talk about,
I
to
agree.
commemorate that day. So,
Exactly. And this movie came out in 2009. It had a $19 million budget, which is actually perfect for a small, horror film for this kind of
that's how
stature
they
and
should all
everything.
be made. Small budgets make it. Oh,
And they made bank.
that's how
This
you
movie
create.
made some bank.
Oh, yeah, it did. Yeah, opening weekend, I think it made like 40 million.
Yeah.
I've said that for so long. Small budgets make you have to be more creative, I feel like.
hmm
And this film, like, does it.
It
It uses the
definitely,
budget very
yeah.
wisely, I think.
I think so too, because here's the thing. When you look at big budgets like $250 million, for example, Batman versus Superman, um, usually it takes about 3 weeks to make your money back versus going on ahead, making a smaller film, and you can make your money back within a week or two, in about a week, and you're good to
Yeah,
go.
or a weekend sometimes, yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I definitely agree. Smaller films make good for good budgets. Use your imagination, and you can even
Mhm.
improvise here and there too if you're a director trying to meet its budgets as well. But the Rotten Tomato score is just really bad.
Yes, I know. I'm so glad we're talking about this because, yeah, like bonkers. Even the audience score is like so low, and it like made me think. I was just like, maybe this movie. I don't know. I feel like if this movie came out like just on the rise of Fair Street right now, I feel like if this movie maybe came out now and went to like a streaming service like Netflix or something, I think it would have such a huge impact. Because I don't think people were ready for this remake when it came out because it plays with the tropes so nicely of the original. It to me, this film is like the first three Friday the 13th. It combines like the first three films together, which is just like so awesome. So I feel like these people weren't ready for this movie because I mean, obviously people were because it made a lot of
Right.
money, but like we never got like a sequel after. And I know we can kind of go into details about that because I know there's like legal issues going on right now with like Blumhouse wanting to buy it and stuff like that. But
Right. And
But
also
to me, it's
too. Well,
yeah, it's just oh, I'm sorry, it's just
no, no, it's
bonkers to
cool.
me that, like, how do people critique this movie so poorly? Because it plays on all the right strings. It pulls on all the right strings, I think. For me, as, like, a horror lover, this does everything right. It plays with the goriness and, like, Jason himself. Like, it just plays all the right tones and hits all the right beats and everything, and I'm really and it has all, like, the stupid stereotypes of, like, characters, and I think, like, that's what's fun about it. I just people cr people critique this movie way too hard, I think, is the issue.
Yes. And here's the thing. I'm okay with giving characters layers to the characters as long as it benefits that universe that the director's trying to create, right? But with this one, you have to be simplistic with it. You don't have to have layers to your survivors. All they have to do is try to survive. That's the goal. Is for them for them to actually survive a night with Jason and hopefully they don't get killed. That's the bottom line. You
Yeah,
don't and that's so like I said before, it's simplistic. It's perfect and everything in
exactly,
its
and
own way.
mhm, exactly. It's not like Halloween with Michael Myers that story tremendously follows Laurie Strode, like, that has more of a deeper meaning behind all that because her brother, or I guess the now in the remakes they don't consider them like related or anything, but like her being haunted, like it was always her trying to survive. These Friday the 13th films were just like watch how this horrible situation happened to this boy and his mother, and now him trying to get revenge on teenagers, pretty much. And that's what I enjoy about these movies. These are just like slasher movies at its finest.
Definitely. And there's always the douchebag guy that always gets the worst at the end and
Yeah.
everything too, which this guy deserved to get killed at the end, but especially for the
Okay,
way that
can
he
we
treated
talk
his
about him? So his character,
yeah,
I found this out today. His character yeah,
yeah, Trent.
Trent, that's his name. His character is the same character from the 2007 Transformers.
Really?
Yeah, like so if you because Michael Bay produced this film, and
Right.
obviously Michael Bay did Transformers. But if you go back to like that IMDb, like his character name is Trent, and that came out in 2007, and this came out in 2009. So it's got to be the same character, I think, just like follow him. And he plays all the right like tones of that character. So I think it just like works out so perfectly. I mean, that could just be me like fan theorying, but I had someone tell me that, and I kind of looked into it, and I was like, okay, okay, this
It kind of
makes a
connects
lot
the
of sense.
dots. It kind of connects the dots, though, if you think about it, though. But you know, what I here's the thing: that Trent is very much a douchebag. Not only that, but he's one of those characters that you hope that he gets the axe at the end or something that
Oh
winds
yeah,
up happening. And when it happens, it's just great to actually see him get his end because the way he treats the guy who's looking for his sister. Then you also have the whole entire thing about how he's treating his friends. This and
yeah.
then also
And he
too,
cheats on his girlfriend, and I feel like they don't talk about that at all in this film, which is totally fine because this movie is not. I'm glad they didn't go on that. Like she's not upset. Like, oh my god, you just cheated on me. Like, no, we're about to die real quick, so let's just worry about that real quick. So I'm glad they didn't focus
right,
on that. But exactly, like every character played that uh horror like stereotype. Like he was the asshole. The blonde surfer hair dude was like the cocky like jock kind of.
right.
Uh,
Then you have the stoner. Basically, you just have
you have the stoner, and in every horror movie they always try to make it like a stereotype, like the one black guy, like so.
right.
And you have that, and then you have like the ditzy chicks, and then you have like the one smart girl, and then you have the one sensitive nice guy. Like they played these like tropes so perfectly, and that's what makes me enjoy the movie so much more. Because like that's what like Scream did so nicely. Like all these great classic like horror films can make fun of themselves,
Exactly,
and
and you don't
I
even
think
have
that's
to take
what
it
this film
serious, right?
does so like greatly. That it's not taking itself too serious, and I think that's why this is a great remake.
I definitely agree with you. And here's the thing: I remember going opening night on a midnight showing of this, and this is back when midnight showings was at its peak and everything.
Yeah.
And I remember whole audience being wowed with the introduction to how they actually brought it together. 20 minutes into it, you get the whole entire logo and everything of Friday the 13th. 20 minutes into the movie, not at the very start of it. The very
Hmm.
start of it actually has the whole entire plot line where basically you already know what winds up happening. Pretty much, Jason's mother winds up getting her head chopped off by the camp counselor. Then after that, it goes into the whole entire thing of present day after the 19, and of course they set it up in the 80s versus the 70s or whatever.
Hmm.
But still, the way they did the timeline was perfect for a generation of 2009 and people that were born in the 80s, so the way they can enjoy it. But you know, what I liked about this was you get first you come out with this other camp, these other people that are just there camping and everything, having a good time looking for weed. I always said this. I said Jason's just pissed
Right.
off because you were smoking his weed. That's why he went on this
Dude,
killing
he
rampage.
Jason is definitely a huge stoner because who else is growing that pot? That's
Exactly.
definitely what must be keeping him sane. That's just my conclusion with this whole thing. But yeah, no, for me, I love that this film has like two cold opens. It gives you the quick like recap of what happened in the 80s of Jason's mom killing the camp counselors that made her like didn't help her son who drowned, which was Jason, and the girl that survived and beheaded the mother, and then it's Jason going out for his revenge. And then we get this awesome cold open too with all these characters that you're just like, all right, these are the kids we're gonna be following. And nope, within 10 minutes, you're like, wait, what is the story really entailing right now? Kind of in a sense. And I loved that. That's what it's just so good.
I definitely agree with you on that, though. I mean, it sucks you in, and I have to agree. Jason Voorhees will always be a classic. Nissa, I do agree with you on that. But yeah, here's the thing: you're thinking that you're going to be stuck with these kids for the whole hour and a half of this movie and everything, and it's completely the opposite direction of it. And it's shot
Mm,
beautifully and everything too. You don't know where it's actually going. Then once it gets there, that's when you're sold on it.
yes. No, I loved the cinematography they used in it, the whole creepiness vibe of uh Camp Crystal. I when I was younger, I watched horror movies way too young, and I remember watching Sleepaway Camp when I was like 12 or 13. And like that was like really like what did it for me. Like I love these like campy horror films, especially horror films that are filmed on a campsite. Like the woods can just get you every time. If you're in the dark woods, anyone can make a film, one. And two, it's just if you can make it well. And I feel like these Friday the 13th movies, especially this one, I feel like hits all the right tones and beats.
It hits all the right tones, all the right beats. The comedy aspect into it wasn't forced at all with the first set of characters. Then I also like Sister Christian playing as the guy is walking off and he goes, "May the force be with your schlong," and he
Yes,
walks off.
I thought that was I was wearing my Star Wars shirt today, so I was like, "That's just perfect." They're making a Star Wars joke and a Spaceballs joke. Like it was just so awesome because I was just like, they weren't afraid to like make fun of themselves in this film. Like,
Exactly.
and they didn't take themselves so serious that like I was just like, wait, they're really right now this camping trip is starting them out literally looking for weed. Like they're going to
Exactly.
look for a pot farm. I was like, okay, this is definitely a different take than you would expect on this film. That's for damn sure. And then everything starts happening with the stereotypes of,
Hmm.
I've always said this. If if you're in a horror movie and you see someone having, if you're watching a horror movie and you see someone having sex, they're going bye bye. Like there's
Sex,
nothing you can
drugs,
do.
anything that you can think of, they're gonna die because that's who they. That's
Exactly.
what's
They
gonna
say it
happen.
and scream so perfectly. Like if you're at a party, if you're drinking alcohol, if you're having sex, you're doing drugs,
That's it.
things are not going to go your way.
No. And you know what though? I like the fact that they have that iconic scene where he puts the girl in the sleeping bag and everything. Instead of him
Yes.
slamming her against the tree like he normally does or whatever, what they do instead is they hang her upside down in a sleeping bag with the fire going underneath it, burning her alive. And then you also have the boyfriend who's can't do anything because of the fact that he's caught in a bear trap. And then you also have this other thing that's going on with the other encounter with the boyfriend and the girlfriend and everything.
Yeah,
And
dude.
let when they go into that cabin part, I'm like, oh my god, this is not going to be good for them.
Oh
Especially when
yeah,
he goes,
once they
yeah,
went in there, I was like, "Oh, this is bad news bear." But that's what I liked about this film too. It kind of took the kills a little bit differently. I don't know. I feel like this film made Jason a little bit smarter. I mean, you
hmm
can just tell like Jason's like in all the other films, Jason moves slowly. Like in
like a
this film, he's
zombie. Yep.
fast. He's kind of smart. I guess the weed helped him. I don't know. You think it would have the opposite effect, but it did not on him.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. And you know what though? I like how they use the underground tunnel to actually explain about how he is able to get around fast. Because remember, in the 70s, we're
Mm,
like, how in the hell does he get there that fast? There's no
yeah.
way that he can get there that fast or anything like that, right? So now they're showing us, explaining to us how he actually gets there in that timing. And then also, too, I like how they go into the whole mythology of Jason, where you see the bed that Jason used to sleep on as a kid, and then the guy shines the light on inside that cabin, and then he reaches in this hole and pulls out a head, and he drops it, and then as soon as he drops it, there's a shadow underneath the door, but then what you wind up seeing after that, you wind up seeing the machete blade go up from underneath the
Mhm.
thing. I'm like, okay, Michael Bay producing this film was the right way to go about it with Platinum Dooms because they
Oh
know how to
yes.
make a horror movie like this.
Oh, 100%. And yeah, one I always think, I mean, maybe it's because I've seen too many horror movies, I don't know. But just in general, I ain't sticking my hand in any dark hole in a wall.
Same.
No way. And if I'm with someone that's gonna, I'm walking away because bad things happen like that. Like
I'm
when you
like,
do
peace out,
stupid
dude.
stuff like
Peace
that.
out.
Exactly. But no, oh my god, that scene, I the kills in this film, and especially the opening, like him jamming the machete through the floor, and obviously you could tell he had different uh oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Like kind of like traps, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
He had different traps set up, like how you notice when they're, and this is like we'll get to this, but like when they're running in the woods and they run into the wire and the bells ring down below, like he definitely there was definitely something in the house that he knew that they were there. And like he set up the bear traps. Like he knew what he was doing, and I feel like Jason is so smart in this film that it just makes the film roll and smooth so much better because it makes more sense. Like
Mhm.
he knows where they are at all times because he's
He knows that whole entire camp.
Yeah,
He's been at that camp since he was a kid, so he knows that whole entire layout. So if anyone can set traps where they need to be at, it's Jason, full on.
exactly.
And also too, I know I mentioned the whole entire thing where the kid is in the trap and everything, and then after that, you wind up seeing the boyfriend too being dragged from underneath the cabin and everything, and then the girl runs out, and then she's witnessing her friend that just died, checking her pulse. I'm like, look, she's dead. She's not coming back. You need to go on ahead, get the dude
Yeah.
out of the trap. But my main thing that I had a question about was this. Now, Jason doesn't give two F's about anything, right? He'll kill you if no matter what. Now, when he sees that whole entire thing, the thing with the heart
Yeah,
and
the locket,
everything,
yeah.
the locket, and he sees her, and now he thinks that's his mom. My first thought was this: would Jason go on ahead and kill her anyways, or would I mean, I was thinking that maybe he might actually just kill her because he just doesn't care.
And that's when I remember, like, so I watched this today for the first time and, like, since, like, probably 2009, 2010, and I remember watching it today, and, like, it kinda, like, the scene, like, goes to black when he raises the machete and he's about to, like, kill her, so I honestly thought I was like, "Wait, maybe they do all just die right now and it's gonna pick up." But then, obviously, I remember, like, the whole storyline of the brother looking for his lost sister, or missing sister, I should say, but for me, there's that little scene, though, when they're in that cabin, that the girl and her boyfriend, and when they pick up the locket and he's like, "Oh, that looks like you." She's like, "No, it doesn't." I thought that was like just a little nice touch because it made sense why Jason was so close to his mother. And I think that resemblance like clicked in his head kind of in a sense that like I need to keep like you're mine. You're my possession
Right.
now.
I can see that because that actually makes sense now if you think about it. Because I was like, okay, would he actually kill her anyways or not? And then the resemblance of her looking like his mother and everything too. I could actually see that now. Now that it actually
Yeah.
does make sense.
Yeah, I think he would actually honestly, I don't think if she ever escaped that spoiler alert till we get to the end, sorry guys. Um, that she would have been down there forever, and I don't think he
Right.
ever would have killed her. I think she would have turned to a corpse and he would have kept her corpse because he would
Right.
have just taken that resemblance as his mom.
Right. And not, God knows what he would actually think. He would probably think that his own mother is telling him what to do from the grave, just like how he normally does.
Yeah.
And that corpse is his mother. But But then we get into the introduction to the new characters that we have. And the thing that makes me laugh is I remember going to the theater, like I said. And the funny thing is, I remember these other two black people that were next to me. And as soon as the Asian kid comes out, oh, hell no, he's going to die first. And then all of a sudden the black dude comes out and they're like, oh no, he's gonna die first. So it was like a bet as to who was gonna die first.
It's horrible, but like I mean, they even make jokes. They make jokes about it in horror movies, though, which like sucks because I'm glad now that we're like in the 21st
Me
century that
too.
like we don't have to make those like jokes anymore unless they want to be like so cliche. But like they make those jokes though, like the diversity character dies first. Like I forget it's in definitely like one of the scary movies or something like that. Like the black dude's like, I'm the only black guy at the party. I like you can't be here, or like one of us is gonna die now, like or something
Right.
like that. And it's just like when you see that, I'm glad they weren't. And that was like the one stereotype that I actually liked that they changed. That they weren't the first to die. It was the couple on the boat
Right. And I
of the new
definitely
characters.
right. And I love the way they went out though, to be honest with you. I definitely liked how that happened, but
Oh,
I'm not gonna go scene. We're not gonna go scene by scene or anything like that. We're just gonna talk
yeah.
about the kills. We're gonna talk about all that other stuff. But then this is where I was talking about the douchey guy, the douchebag Trent. On what I mean by the fact that he's a douchebag, and the whole fact is you have the Asian kid from Disturbia is in
Disturbia,
this
yeah.
movie, and he's making wise jokes and everything. He's just hilarious. I love him in just about anything I see him in.
Yes, same. He's like
And
such a good uh the word I'm thinking of, I can't like think of, but like the characters that he plays, I feel like he just plays them so spot on.
he does. He really does. It's like improv if you think about it,
Yes, that's
and the
what it
way he
feels like,
does
and I
it.
love it.
And he goes, "Well, what are you gonna do with those condoms? I'm gonna get laid. That's what I'm hoping." He goes, "Well, I'm not paying for your stuff." Because he had Fritos, he had Funyuns, he had all the other stuff that we would actually get. And he goes, well, you don't have none of this stuff over your house or anything like that. So he winds up getting he winds up paying for gas and two waters. Then of course, then you actually have the guy coming in to look for his sister, and then that's of course when uh basically the gas attendant doesn't want to even hang up the picture of the sister or whatever. And then here comes Trent. He goes, hey, can you move aside? I need to pay for my stuff. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna die.
Yep. Right away. And what I really liked about, like, my favorite character in this film was definitely, like, hands down, obviously, besides Jason Voorhees, was Jared. I'm gonna say his last name wrong. Pedalaki, the guy from Supernatural.
Okay.
Uh, I liked his character a lot because he was like the innocent guy, but he was like trying to like do the right thing, like finding his sister. And he didn't play off as like I'm the bad boy looking for my sister.
Mm-mm.
Like I liked his character a lot because he was literally just like I'm on the search for my missing sister. Anyone want to help? Let me know, kind of in a sense. And no one would help him or kind of believe him with the situation that was occurring. And then when you have like him meeting the assholes, it just it makes it all work because obviously later on, like a couple of scenes later, he meets up with them at their cabin because he accidentally just goes there to pass on a missing persons form, and it's that house. So the tropes play so perfectly for why he ends up at that house and having to deal with those assholes.
Exactly. And I also have to say this though too. Then I like the innocence to the brother, to be honest with you. He's just an innocent dude trying to be the best brother that he can be.
Hmm.
And then you have this cop who knows what's going on in that town. That's what I like about it. The guy is not playing like the sheriff is not playing the douchebag. He's actually the guy who's just there to actually put some peace into the town to where
I
people
and
are
I
not
actually
searching.
like that too. Yeah, I really did like that he didn't play the asshole cop because I remember seeing the scene when he gets pulled over. I was like, oh, douchey cop. But
Right.
no, he was just like you said. He's just trying to like keep everyone at peace, kind of in a sense, because like you said, thousands of people go missing all the time. Like it
And
sucks, but it happens. Like, and sometimes when there's no evidence, there's nothing you can do. You can try your hardest, but
exactly. But also too, I liked how he also said you can do what all the other families are doing, go somewhere else. I'm like, okay, so therefore you do have a problem, but you don't want to admit that you have a
yeah,
problem.
no, 100%, yeah.
Right.
And let's be honest, obviously stuff was happening at Crystal Lake for many, many years, for the last, what, 20 to 30 years. So he was having those issues for quite a while. I think that he was just like, all right, well, it can't be the supernatural. So we're just going to just assume it's got to be something else. We just all have bad luck or something like that in this town.
Exactly. And Nessa, yeah, you're definitely right. He would have been the kind of brother that anyone would be lucky to
Mhm.
have. Hey Brandy, how you doing? Uh but yeah, I think that it's too cliche to have a cop that's the douchebag cop that knows what's
Definitely.
going on. Like, you need to get out of my town. This town is not big enough for the both of us. Have
Mhm.
like a Clint Eastwood kind of cop.
Yeah,
You
like
don't need to
let
have
me
that
do
for
my work. Like he didn't
right.
like I like that. Yeah.
Me too. And then also too, you also have the creepy. You always have a creepy person in a small town, and that's exactly who this other guy that the brother runs into and
Yes.
everything. And basically, he's over there. He goes, "Are you stealing my gasoline?" He's like, "No, I'm just here to give you this poster of my sister,
Yes,
and that's it."
yeah. And but I also liked when he like runs into like that older I believe it was an older woman. I can't remember off the top of my head. But she's like
Yeah, it was an older
everyone
woman.
dies. Yeah, like everyone dies. And so funny, the guy that directed this film, do you know what other horror movie remake that he directed?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes, and that scene really, I don't know why, reminded me a lot of that 2003 film. So I was just
You know
like,
what?
I literally looked it up afterwards, and I was just like on IMDb, and I was like, wait a minute, like it really they are kind of like similar. I don't know. That scene just made me remind it a lot, and I was like, this guy is
Hmm.
pretty good at horror remakes, I must say, even though they don't get rated the highest. But
No, no, definitely not. But now that you mention it, that scene with the blade with the machete going through the
mhm.
boards, it had a Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of feel to it, especially when the chainsaw from underneath the house and
Yes,
everything.
like yeah,
So,
that's literally what made me think like the house is the maze, kind of in a sense.
right.
Like, yeah,
So
nope,
yeah.
I give this director a lot of kudos, and he hasn't really done much since. And they should Blumhouse should team up with him because
I definitely agree.
I think he does a pretty good job with not taking the film so serious. And I feel like that's like for example, I mean, kind of like the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street. I feel like kind of took itself too seriously, or even like the Rob Zombie like Halloween films. I feel like it's either
I
you
like the
gotta
first
like
one.
yeah, like you gotta play with what you're given from the past, kind of in a sense. And I feel like that's what this film did like so nicely that for me, it, like I said earlier, I feel like it combines the first three films together. We get to see, I think it's so cool. We get to see Jason in the like potato bag mask, and we also get to see him in the hockey mask. So like
Yep.
we're getting so much in this film that I'm like, how do people score this movie so poorly? Like we're getting so much like nostalgia in it. Like did that just go over everyone's head? I don't know. But like rewatching it today, I was just like, this is just hitting everything for me right now. And it's a fun watch because it's not like the kills are definitely gory as hell. And I'm not a blood person, but I enjoy a nice kill, like something different and unique. And that's what this
Right.
film gave us. Like it wasn't just Jason moving slowly in the woods, like hacking everybody off. Like you said earlier, when he had the girl tied in the sleeping bag above a fire, like the bow and arrow thing. I was like, when this
Yeah,
motherfucker
let's
learn
talk
how to
about
shoot
that.
one?
Yeah,
Like,
let's talk about that now. The bow and arrow scene was just straight out of left field. No pun
yes,
intended.
I did not see that
It,
coming at all.
like they're enjoying the boat ride and everything. She's topless, screaming, doing her jet boat.
That's really good at wakeboarding. Like,
Right,
not playing like a ditzy girl can be good at it, because
right,
anyone can be good at wakeboarding. I mean, I've never
right.
tried it, so I probably would be terrible. But I'm like, this girl can do it topless and hit waves and get air. I have no issues at all. Like,
Exactly. And then the dude is over there trying to do the boat, and he's over there just watching her the whole time. I'm like, dude, you're gonna crash into something. You need to
that's what I thought was gonna happen. I was like, dude, this dude's just gonna hit something or like hit someone like in the
right.
woods, and he's gonna be like, oh gosh. But like, I'm glad it like this movie is like hour and a half of like straight to the point.
It
And
is.
that's what I liked about this movie, because it could have just been like he hits another boat or he hits someone in the water and he's like, oh my god, like what are we gonna do?
It
And
doesn't
then
become
but
cliche. Right.
yeah, exactly. And then but no, it's just like, let's enjoy our fun time at the lake, aka dumb motherfuckers. Did you guys not read the news or look at newspapers or anything from the last 30 years that maybe you shouldn't go to Camp Crystal Lake? I don't know. But that's why I think it's always very important to do some brush up on where you'll be visiting if you go on vacation.
Definitely. Never camp at Camp Crystal Lake.
Yes.
And Nessa, I do agree with you. Makes me want to play Dead by Daylight. I love that game to death. I
Yeah,
haven't played it in a while.
is
Yeah.
that the Friday the 13th game?
No. Matter of fact,
Oh.
Dead by Daylight, you get a choice of playing Survivor or you can play the Killer. So
Oh,
basically, they have,
that's pretty fucking cool.
and you know what's really cool though? You have the whole entire thing is you have to start off 4 generators or 5 generators before the killer can kill you.
Oh.
And you're allowed 3 times to get off the hook. Someone has to save you at least 3 times. But the cool thing is the developers keep on changing the rules every single time because it's an online game. So you can actually, so as they're changing up the rules and everything, they're adding in new stuff, taking away some new stuff. They got Michael Myers in it. They got some OC killers in there. They've got,
Dude, this game sounds so fucking cool. Does it still exist?
yeah, it still does. I still
All
play it
right,
from time to time.
I'm not like a video game person
Yeah,
at all, but I feel like I might have to because this game sounds so fucking cool. I
I
love
love it.
I love video games that you can watch like gameplay on. Like maybe call me a nerd all you fucking want, but uh what was that? That's is it The Last of Us?
Yeah, The
That
Last
video
of
game
Us.
that's getting remade right now. I watched like 9 hours of that gameplay to see the storyline for that. Yeah, I didn't play the game. I just watched it all happen. Someone else played it. And same with the Friday the 13th video game that came out.
Yeah,
Like I don't know when, probably like 5, 6 years ago. I don't even know when it came out.
2016 or 17, around
Yeah,
that
something
area.
like that. But I remember watching like the gameplay for that, and I was like, "This shit is cool." Like, it just makes me like feel like I'm just like watching like a story play out instead of like just playing like a cliche video game. So I don't know. I like games like that. So now I'm gonna have to. I actually want to play this one though now because you get to be the survivor or the killer. I think that's pretty
Right.
cool.
And yeah, Brandy don't play video games either or anything like that. I'm pretty much the gamer, but but this game is actually pretty awesome. The matter of fact, the maps and stuff like that for the downloadable content is actually really cheap. It's like $6 or $7 to
Oh wow,
download some of these characters. You have the pig from Saw. You have a killer called the Trapper, where he lays down different bear traps. You have
that's
the
cool.
Huntress. You have a whole bunch of catalog of killers. Now they are getting rid of the Stranger Things map and stuff like
Oh
that because they haven't worked out the deal with Netflix on it, but people are trying to
yeah.
fight to have it keep it. But they also have the Resident Evil map that just dropped, which is like $13. That was like the highest map for downloadable content, and I didn't even pick that one up because of how high the price is and everything.
Dude, I'm like
Um,
so interested in this now. I'm like gonna have to download this. Also, because I feel like so I'm like such a nerd. I randomly will sometimes like think of like a movie idea, and I'm like, ooh, I'm just gonna like write down like random thoughts of it, like what could work out. I feel like I'm gonna watch this game and like steal all of its like horror tropes, like you just said, like the trapper that puts bear traps everywhere, like, and then I'm gonna get sued for a lot of money if I
right.
ever become famous from it, which I probably won't. But
That's I wanted to know, what YouTuber do you watch for gameplays? For me, it's Markiplier.
I honestly do not know. I will
Mm,
just like look it up and I can't remember who it was. Maybe it's that same person. I have no idea.
okay.
But I would literally just like look up and like I would like go through a couple of them. Like it wouldn't just be like one. I'd be like, I'm gonna watch this one every time. Because it was kind of just like them not even explaining anything. It's just literally them just playing.
Okay.
Which is like so I don't know honestly who it was or anything like that. I just click on sometimes random videos, which I shouldn't because I should remember people because people put a lot of hard work in for these videos, so I
They
should remember
do.
the
They
names. So
really
I
do.
apologize for not remembering you guys' awesome YouTube videos, but I will. But I remember this one, so
Right. There you go. But, back over to this, then, how we talked about the arrow going through the guy's head and everything. The other cool thing, Kill, was okay, after that happens, the boat comes back around and hits her upside the head
oh
and
yeah.
knocks her out. Next thing you know it, she sees Jason in the mask, and then he disappears. And then she decides to hide underneath the dock and everything.
Yeah, and I thought
And
oh
yeah,
yeah, I remember seeing that and I was just like I mean, obviously they don't know who Jason is. Well, besides like, yeah, no, they don't know who Jason is. And so my thought in my head was just like, oh, just stay in the water, chick. Just stay in the water because he drowns, so he
that's
won't
what I
go
was
in the
thinking.
water. Like, but I was like, and then when she swam towards the dock, I was like, don't get on the dock. Don't be close to shallow water. And what did she do? But she played it smart, kind of, because she
Right.
was like, I'm gonna stay in the water. Obviously, one because I'm topless. So like,
Well, another thing though, she wasn't breathing hard or heavy to let him know that she was
yeah,
around. Then all of a sudden, you see the machete go to her head and lifts her out of the water a little bit, just seeing
yeah,
see some nudity, and then it goes back and she goes underwater and everything, and then it goes into the next scene. But I liked, to me, some of the kills are kind of comical with a little bit of dark humor in it
yes,
if you think about it because of that scene. But then after that, you have the brother that's over there looking for his sister. That's when he knocks on the door. And of course, they're also playing these drinking games and stuff like that. And
hmm
my favorite part, though, with the stoner, with the Asian dude, he looks at the black dude. He goes, "You've been cheating on me." He goes,
yes. I thought that scene. That's the thing. I thought this movie was so fun. Like I think I had to watch this movie. I definitely watched this movie in college, like, with a bunch of my friends and stuff, because like, that was, like, our big thing, like, we would always watch, like, horror movies. Like, Halloween was our go-to, like, marathon of watching,
mhm.
like, all of those films, but, like, I remember watching this movie and, like, I was like not that this is us, but I was just like, this is like if we were to make a movie, this is how it would be. Like us just goofing off at a cabin, like having way too much fun, and then shit starts hitting the fan, and none of us know what to do, even though we've seen horror movies a million times. Like,
Exactly. And we already know that people are gonna die or whatever, but still, we go in there. We know what we're expecting, and that's exactly why this film works because we know what we're getting. We know what we're paying for, and we're
Mhm.
hoping for a thrill of a good time with Jason. And it's a simplistic story. It's about a kid who drowns and then seeks revenge on the camp counselors that was involved with it.
Mhm.
Just
And
like
that's what I
how,
liked about yeah,
right,
I liked about this movie that it didn't give, like, these characters so much of a backdrop, like, storyline of, like, you need to feel for these like, no, it was literally just like, this dude wants to find his sister, and he's stuck in Camp Crystal Lake because that's where she went missing. Like, it
right.
wasn't any more or any less of that, and it was still Jason's movie, and that's why I enjoyed it so much. But it didn't repeat history of like having to give us the whole storyline of Jason and all that stuff. Like it was pretty much just like you guys know the character, you guys know Camp Crystal Lake. This is what happens. We're throwing these teen like young adults in there, and like you guys can see a slasher, and that's what this movie did so right. It reminded me so much of like 80s slashers, and maybe it
I
was too
definitely agree with
early or
you.
too late for its time. I don't know, but it was so good.
Yes, most definitely. But you know, then here's another thing though too. Then you actually have the aging dude that's actually going into the. I'm jumping around. I don't care. I'm having a good time. But you have the aging dude that goes down to the shed to find something, and he winds up knocking over a bunch of stuff. There's hockey sticks that he accidentally knocks over, and he's thinking is the ball bag that's over there and everything that's in the Jason mask. He goes, "Oh, Ronnie, I'm Trent. I didn't mean to make the mess or anything like that." The next thing you know, Jason's goes on ahead, takes the ice pick, and just shoves it into his throat.
Mhm. Yeah, that was, like, a tough scene. All these kills were, like, tough scenes to, like, watch because 'cause they're not, like, super, like, gruesome, but they're just like, ooh, like, you can just, like, feel the pain, I feel like, while watching it in a sense, and I love that scene, though, also because, 1, I think that character himself was just, like, hilarious. Like, he brought all, like, he hit all his comedic notes, I
Yeah,
think, so well, and when he grabs the hockey stick and he's like, "This is a man's sport," and he, like, starts playing with it, and when he turns around and he sees Jason, he's just like, "This belongs to you, right? Like, it goes with your costume." And I was like, "This is just awesome." I wanted to see Jason kill him with the hockey stick
me
instead of the
too.
ice pick, but I was just like, "You know what? I'll take what I can get because that scene right there was just I thought was really spot on and perfect.
You see, I thought the same thing. I thought Jason was going to do something with the hockey stick. He doesn't do it. Then, of course, after that happens, Jason goes up to the house and everything. The douchebag, ball bag guy is over there having sex with the girl, cheating on
Mhm.
her, cheating on his girlfriend and everything, you know? So,
Like, no big deal, and Jason's just, like, watching them do it. Like, that's my thing with Jason too. I was like, he kinda is a little perv. 100%. He enjoy because then again, I mean, that's like all the kids were drinking and having sex and stuff, and that's how he died. But I don't know. I feel like either he was just like, I miss out on these times, or he's just like, I'm a little perv and I get off by killing people and watching them do it. So and
or
smoking
he's
weed.
just getting more pissed off underneath that hockey mask. Those
Yeah, no,
bastards are doing
exactly.
it
Yeah.
again. Those
Yep.
bastards are doing it again to me and everything.
Hmm.
They're going to make me want to go out there and kill them.
Hmm.
That's what it seems like to me, you know. But then another thing too. Then you know how much of a douchebag this other guy is, though, too, because while the girl's riding him, goes, "Oh, baby, you have perfect nipple placement." I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
I thought that was so funny. I was like, "What is this dude saying right now?" He just kept talking about her boobs, which, like, yeah, they were great, but, like, why were you so obsessed with her nipples? I was just, like, so odd, and I was like, like, that was just, like, weirdly scripted, like, I think that was, like, the only thing that I was just like,
Mm,
this like, obviously, it's not, like, the best horror script, but, like, for me, I was just like, "Alright, this is just, like, becoming nonsense now," like, with just that scene at least.
right,
I was just like, "Alright," like, I think they were just trying to make the sex scene, like, funny, I guess, but it was just, like, a little too much for me because I was just like, "Alright," it was maybe funny, like, the first time you said it, but you said it, like, 3 different times while doing
right.
it, like, he really liked those nipples.
And then
Like
downstairs, you have the other black dude that's over there trying to get off and everything, and looking
well,
for something
looking
in the
at, like, a
catalog.
nature magazine of, like, an older woman, I was just like, "This is just, like, hilarious," like, I thought that scene was pretty funny,
Me too.
like, and then when they storm in, he's just like, "What?" Like like, "You guys caught me at a wrong bad time," like But no,
And
like
right,
like that scene I did not mind. And the whole sex thing, like scene, like that was fine. But when he commented on her nipples like 10 different times, I was just like, okay, this is just
yeah,
nonsense now. Like, let's get back to the killing. Like,
exactly. Okay, let's go in and kill these two people off, and then we don't have to worry about them anymore.
yeah.
Let's move on from this. And then another thing too that I have to have that I laugh about is the fact when finally they're realizing people are getting killed, the black dude is over there with a frying pan and everything.
Dude,
Getting
he was
some,
like smart though. He was
yeah, he
one
was
the fucking they told he told the brother dude literally told him like, dude, like don't go out there. Like, why is no one listening to this guy? Because he's very smart. Like, don't go out there. Like, don't do this dumb thing. Like, we just saw him carrying a dead body. And even when when him and that girl were at the camp and they saw Jason carrying that, like, the headless body, like, he kept kind of wanting to look for more. And she was like, no, we need to go. We just saw someone, like, a dead body. And he's like, "Oh, wait, like, kind of like still wanting to ponder. But I was glad he wasn't like dumb, like, okay, like, no, we should stay here. Like he was like, no, let's actually go back to the house too. You're right. Like, and so like when
exactly
they get to the house, like him and the girl, the only smart characters in this whole film that, especially him, just like don't go out there. Like you can't sacrifice yourself. Like, but I thought that dude going out there with the frying pan was so clever until he dropped it. I was like, he's screwed. But when he was in the shed or the boathouse or whatever it
yeah.
was, he's got some moves. He was like bobbing and weaving from Jason. I was just like, damn, this dude might actually get away real quick, or like might have a little bit of a chance.
Right.
But
Then we see the hatchet get thrown at his back, and I'm like,
yeah,
okay, never mind.
yeah, Jason is just like a freak of nature. He has great bow and arrow skills and can throw a hatchet. I guess he's really good at axe throwing. So who knew that? um, and like when he's in that scene too, like when he's like screaming for help, and his friends are like, they're like, "What do we do? Like we have to go out there and help him." And the brother said it perfectly. He's like, "They like Jason is using him for bait. Like he wants you to go out there and help him," which is so true. Like I wonder, like if you were in like if any of us were in that position, like what would we do? Because, like, I mean, if it was someone, like, I loved, I would probably just be an idiot and go out there even though it is complete bait, and I would
Risking
know
your
that.
life.
Yeah, just because I know at this point from watching so many horror movies that, like, don't feed into the bait, but you just, like, obviously, if it's someone you care about, you have to, like, risk it for the biscuit. But if it was just someone I was just like, it's okay. I'm gonna be like, "Nah, it was your fault for going out there in the first place. We told you not to." Like,
Exactly. We told you what don't need to be doing, and here you're doing stupid stuff. So guess what? You do you go on ahead. You do stupid games. You get stupid prizes. So um,
ooh,
this
did
is
you see
what.
what
Oh
Nisa put in the chat?
yeah, yeah. That's what I was gonna. So okay, I'll let you go first. Do you think you would survive through Camp Crystal Lake?
Honestly, maybe this is just me sounding cocky, but like, and maybe because I'm also reading uh the Final Girl support group, but I don't know. I feel like I have like personality wise, not that I'm like a slope and like paranoid and stuff like that. But like, I feel like I have Final Girl vibes. I feel like I don't play into that stereotype of like being like ditzy or anything like that. I don't know. I feel like I could survive because I've also like seen so many horror movies and like I know the tropes. And I actually have a book that's like on my bookshelf, and it's literally titled "How to Survive a Horror Film" or something like that. Um, and so I've definitely read that too. I don't know. Personally, I think I would, but throw me in that position, probably not. I would like to think I would. But what do you like? What do you think? Do you think you could,
If I'm
John? Or
surviving with you, I have a chance. Let's just, but I seen horror
well, you're
movies
like
and stuff like that
you
too.
seem like a big, strong dude. I'm
Yeah,
small, so like I'd be able to like fatigue and hopefully be
right.
able to run fast. But like I feel like you at least have like the muscles to like help
Yeah,
me back each other up. So I feel like we would
yeah.
be like a good pair in a
I think
sense. Like
so
we would
too.
help each other survive.
Yeah, and not only that, but I will also keep an eye on bear traps and stuff like that. I'll be getting a stick to make sure.
Yeah, okay, so yeah,
Um,
you're smart. I would be the dumb person to not look at the ground while I'm running. Actually, eh,
Well,
I'm also
nobody
like
really
blind too, and especially at nighttime, it's like very
right.
hard to see. Like I have my glasses right here. I just
True.
don't really wear them because of the glare on the
So it was
ring light.
nighttime,
But
maybe not so much. I wouldn't be doing that. But daytime, yeah, I would be getting a stick and looking and
well,
seeing.
no, so you're smart though at least. So you got like the
Right.
hunting skill vibes with you. So you're good.
And I
Yeah, we
also
would make
use
a good.
landmarks. Here's the thing: I use landmarks wherever I go to find my way back.
Yes, same.
So
Yep.
so that's another thing that I got. So
Yep. No,
yeah,
see, yeah, we got this. I've
yeah, we
always
do.
wanted to like make a horror film. So like I feel like that's why I would survive. But I mean, throw me in that situation, maybe not so much. I don't know. It's like it's funny. Like it's either say like you have the fight or flight situation. I think I would have like the I'd be able to escape situation. I ain't gonna
Exactly.
try to kill this dude. I'm gonna try to run away from this dude. But then again, I might also have that like panic and freeze situation that everybody's like,
Right.
I'm watching it all like unfold, and I'm just like, what do I do? Like,
Right. Because sometimes it can actually hit you blindsided. It's like, okay, I don't know what the heck to do. I'll
yeah.
just die. I'll just play dead
Yeah.
and I'll let him chop me
It might
up.
just be easier if I just get chipped off, like
Right. Nessa says she probably has like a 50-50 chance of surviving.
yeah, it definitely depends, like
Mm,
I mean, I like to think I would, but like I said, it definitely depends, like, who I'm with, like, the stereotype of people. If I'm with, like, a jock, a stoner, and some ditzy chicks, I think I got a good chance.
right.
But, like, if I'm
But
with, like, a bunch of, like, smart, intelligent people that, like, oh, have great, like, woods-based knowledge and, like, or nature, like, people, they would probably have to save me. So, I guess it just, like, all depends, but I love horror films so much that I feel like I would be able to escape, so I don't know. I'd also
exactly.
probably trip over a stick and then be screwed and just get dragged out right away, so
But yeah, then you wind up seeing the other. Here's another thing though too. When you think of survival and stuff like that, you're wondering, all kind of things are going through your mind. Is like, I gotta be quiet so that way Jason won't come near me or anything like that. So I have to keep my mouth shut. And also, too, I gotta watch my surroundings. But how do I do that while there's a maniac chasing me? So there's a lot of things to be at check.
yeah, no, definitely that and too and I don't have a great scream, so that's why I think they would also let me survive. 'Cause, like, people that have, like, great screams, they die because they make it sound so much more gruesome and stuff, like, I wouldn't, so mine would
Right.
probably be, like, a manly scream because I have, like, a raspy voice, so, like, they would be like, "No, you could survive because no one wants to hear you screeching," so, like
It'll give you a great character arc as long as you don't scream. So,
exactly.
but another thing too, whenever it comes down to this, you actually have the cop that comes in over there to check on them, and then of course we wind up finding out that the cop winds up dying with Jason and everything, and then of course the douchebag ball bag guy finally gets what he deserves. The machete goes all the way through him, and
Alright,
then
so yeah,
yeah,
and he puts him on the, the tow truck. Okay,
yeah, the
so
tow
when
truck.
that scene happened, when that tow truck came up, I thought that was Jason in the car and that tow truck. What did you think? Because he was just didn't say anything and just reached
Hmm,
his arm out and was just like, "Come here." Like, creepy, like, no
right.
one leans out the window or opens the car door or anything. I would've been like, "Nah, I'm gonna keep running." Oh, I'm
Hmm.
gonna yell to you at least, like, "Help me." Like
Well, if it was Michael Myers, I could see it in a
oh,
sense.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say Michael Myers. Did I say
No,
Michael
no, no,
Myers?
no,
I
no,
meant to
no.
say
I mean,
Jason.
I'm no, no, no. You said Jason, but what I'm
Okay.
saying is this: I could see maybe possibly if it was Michael Myers driving the tow truck, I could see him motioning to her. But
Yeah,
Jason's a
true.
total different complex, has a different complexity to him.
Very, very true,
So
yeah.
Michael has a way of luring people in to his traps. Not saying Jason doesn't, but Jason's pretty much in your face the whole time, kind of.
Yes, yeah.
And of course we're dealing with Michael Myers, who's basically the shape who actually just stalks you, and then he just shows up unannounced. Now,
Very
Jason,
true.
whenever I saw that scene and everything, I was like, "There's no way that's Jason because Jason's right behind her and everything, chasing. Well, chasing him basically."
Yeah.
And so when Trent finally
Yeah,
he
so
puts him
true,
on the
duh, like, what?
and finally whenever he puts Trent on the tow truck and everything, And then it cuts over to the scene, and you see it's that creepy guy that's in that town.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, that makes sense though. It makes sense for him to cover up for Jason because he's that creepy enough to actually try and think that he's actually doing something nice for the town by covering up the crimes that need to actually be hushed.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that is so true. No, that is yeah. Holy shit. Why did I not think about that? Yeah, that is like so true. He definitely is like helping
And
him out in a sense. Yeah.
think of it like this: in the 1970s version of Friday the 13th, we had the creepy guy in the diner on the bicycle.
Yeah.
And this one, they did him a little bit better by giving him a little bit more to do versus him just being the creepy guy on a bicycle. He's just on a tool truck helping Jason, keeping everything quietly.
Dude, I
So
didn't
it
even
works
think
out
about
good.
that. Damn, yeah, that is yeah, no, that is 100% it. He definitely is helping him, like towing their cars, like to make it look like they just disappeared. Like there's no trace or evidence, kind of in a sense. Damn, that he's so clever.
I tried. But and then we wind up, of course, getting the underground tunnel scene and stuff like that, going through everything with the brother
So
and the.
creepy, but
It
also
is.
so cool at the same time. I mean,
It,
I want to go visit under there, but at the same time, I never want to be in the position to be under there. So,
the only way I would be under there is if Rambo was under there from Last Blood. That would be the only way that I would
yeah.
be under there.
Yeah, I would definitely need like a SWAT team with me from
Right.
on every corner and edge of me, so I know I'm good.
Exactly. But this movie is, like we said, it's clever. It knows what it is, and it's not a misidentity of what this movie is. And then finally, we get to the climax of it all. Finally, we actually have everything coming together. Especially whenever they go back over to that pervert's house and
Mhm.
everything, and then they decide to go on ahead and trap him in a bear trap, and
Yeah.
then wrap the chains around him
Mhm.
and get sucked into that cutting machine
Yeah,
and
dude,
everything.
I loved that scene. I was just like and one because I was just like I'm like, "Is he gonna die?" Like, I couldn't like, obviously, I couldn't remember, and I was like, "Oh my god, they're actually gonna get away." Like, they're gonna, I guess, in a sense, like, get their happy ending. But these dumb motherfuckers, after they pretty much at least they think they kill him, let's just go drag his body to the dock
Yeah,
and just stand over his body for a few minutes and then
dump
dump
him
his
over.
body in the lake. Like, you motherfuckers.
But
Like,
in a sense, I
but
was
they were
kind of
kind of covering
expecting
it.
it.
Yeah. What did you say?
In a sense, I was kind of expecting it because I'm like, okay, so they can't have that iconic scene where Jason's popping out of the boat or when he's a kid because he's an adult. So you have to
Yeah.
have that one jump scare, that one final jump scare saying, "I'm still alive." So I was actually
Mhm.
waiting for it, but yeah, they are dumb on that level of just standing over the body. Then they roll him onto off the dock, and then all of a sudden he just jumps out of the water, coming up from the dock, and the next thing you
Yeah.
know, it cuts to black.
And I forgot that scene happened, and but, like, I liked it because at first I was like, "Well, these dumb motherfuckers, like,
I
why
was
didn't you
thinking,
guys just leave afterwards?" And then maybe at the end of the movie, just him, like, walking out or something like he's still alive. But, like, no, I liked it that it played very much to, like, the '80s version of Friday the 13th and Jason Voorhees of that, like, popping out of the water and, like, stuff like it played so well with it that it was so perfect.
yes.
And can we just, like, talk about that underwater scene I thought was shot so
Hmm.
beautiful. Can I swear or no?
Yeah, yeah, you can.
I thought it was honestly, I thought it was so fucking beautiful. Like,
It
his
was.
body just, like, sinking down, the mask, when like, he kicks the mask off and it just floats down. I was like, "This is, like, such" I just like,
You know what
metaphoric
it
I don't
reminds
even
me
know.
of?
It was just so beautiful, I thought.
Well, you know what it reminds me of, right? It kind of reminds me of Jaws in a way because of the fact you have that
Yeah.
calmness into the water.
Mhm.
It's like the calm before the storm kind of thing.
Yes, and that's
And
definitely what they were going for too, I feel like.
yeah, that's exactly how I felt. And I'm like, it's the calm before the storm. There's no way that they're not gonna go that he's gonna die because they gotta do other sequels after this.
Yeah, which I'm sad
And
that we haven't got, but keep finish what you're saying because we'll talk about that after.
Right, exactly. But I figured that by now we would actually get it. But then of course we wound up losing the licensing from Paramount
Yeah.
and everything. And now there's also a war with the video game franchise because of the stuff that they used in that. And let me just say this: I used to play the Friday the 13th video game, but there were so many bad glitches. There was 10-year-old kids on
Um,
that game that should not be playing that game.
yeah, I was gonna say it was like kind of like I forget what the video game is, but like when a bunch of people can play.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just
online
like to me
gameplay.
that was weird. Yeah, like you can talk to people and stuff. Like,
Right. Now, the cool thing that Dead by Daylight did was, guess what? You cannot talk to each other
see, I
unless
like
you're in
that.
like a group chat. If you're in a group
Yeah, see,
chat and
that's
you
smart.
with
Yeah.
friends, you can do that. But you cannot be if you're the killer or anything like that. You can. There's no talking or anything like that, which is something I wish that they would have done with Friday the 13th. And get this, there were people that were actually trying to make deals with me in the chat one time for the Dead by Daylight because I'm the killer. And the kid is like, I never will forget it. The kid goes on ahead and says, "Do not kill me or anything. I'll make a deal with you. I'll give you blood points if you go." I said, "I'm not that kind of killer, kid. I'm
Yeah,
not."
like what? I'm
He's
here to do some killing. Like,
right. I was like, "Dude, I'm not here to reason with you. I'm here to do a job, and I'm gonna do it."
yeah.
And that's
I'm
exactly
sorry.
how I am.
Yeah. If you're in a real situation with the killer, there ain't
There's no
no reasoning.
bargaining,
Yeah,
right?
there is no bargaining in that case. Like,
But let me tell you something that's funny that happened to me on a glitch for Friday the 13th. There was a glitch where the characters were actually flying. I'm serious. I was
that's
actually trying to record it,
interesting. Is it like Chronicle, that movie Chronicle? They can just fly
right?
and stuff.
Because okay, we were about to escape. Then all of a sudden, you see them get in the car. Next thing you know, it looks like they're driving, but the person is actually just being levitated in the motion of driving, and she's going through the cabin and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they definitely need to fix those glitches. Hopefully they have. I mean, who knows at this point, but
right.
that's
I just
so
got.
bizarre.
I just feel like Dead by Daylight's the better game
Now I
and
need to
everything.
like watch that. Oh my gosh. I mean, I need to watch the gameplay. I want to play this game now. What am I saying?
And the cool thing is you got Amori. Basically, you're allowed to kill all the survivors if you hang them up there twice by your hand, versus hanging them up on the hook and letting the entity kill them.
Oh, yeah, this sounds really cool. You're gonna have to
It's
send it to
definitely,
me afterwards so I can like look this up.
yeah. A matter of fact, I have a couple of gameplay videos on not on this channel, but on my other channel that I have for my personal use, and I'll send that over to you back when they first
Yes.
started out. But they've
Yes.
done a
I'm
lot
definitely
better
excited.
job and everything, to be honest with you. But as far as this movie goes, I love it. I wish that we got a sequel out of this. It deserved a sequel.
Yes.
And they got the right person to play Jason. You got a
Yes.
6 foot tall dude that could shadow over them and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And he felt menacing, he felt threatening, he felt everything I wanted to feel in a Jason Voorhees movie.
Yes. Nope, same. I completely agree. I thought this movie was so underrated. I think it's a great sequel, remake, reboot. I mean, it's not a reboot because they kind of flashback to it like showing like just the real quick what happens in 1980 to like present day. I don't know, to me it was just like such a great like sequel remake in a sense because it doesn't take itself so serious. It hits all the right notes and beats of an 80s slasher film. And you get to see Jason like move fast and be fast. And you get to see him with his two different masks, which I thought was so cool. And it doesn't like I said earlier, it doesn't take itself so serious that it this is a movie about Jason Voorhees at Camp Crystal Lake. Don't go on his turf. If you go on his turf, bad things happen. And that's what I
Exactly.
liked so much about this film. It wasn't like
Hmm.
so deep. It didn't give us like so much it wasn't so like character driven. It was like plot like given pretty much. Just like, all right, you're on Crystal Lake. This is all what the bad stuff's happening. I like that it was just like this guy is going to look for his sister, and that adds to the story of why they're
Mhm.
there. But the whole story is just watching Jason do all these crazy kills. And for that, Rotten Tomatoes, we need to talk. The audience who put those scores up, we need to talk because
Exactly.
I don't know.
I think
I
they were
don't know.
expecting more. I mean, I was
That's
reading the
what it has to
comments.
be.
Once you told me the Rotten Tomato stuff, I started doing some research and everything, looking at the comments. Like, oh, these characters are one dimensional and everything. They're paint by
But
the
that's what I liked
numbers.
about it.
I'm like, dude, I said, do you not know what you're watching? You're
Well,
what?
that's yes, exactly. Like, what do you mean? Like, have you like that was my thing is like you obviously don't know what you're watching or you don't understand what Friday the 13th is.
Right,
Like, yes, the characters are supposed to be one dimensional. That's what's so great about these films. Like, we're there to watch the kills and Jason
exactly.
do his thing. And that's what we got in this film. And I thought it was so cool. I thought it was shot greatly. Yeah, the script isn't the best, but it's not like we're having Jason talk nonsense or anything like that, so I'm good. Like it was a fun movie that was definitely a throwback to 80s slashers at its
Definitely.
finest.
And you know what, though? I'm going to mention this. My friend Jason Pitts, who's an independent director, he's actually making Voorhees, The Night of the Beast. He's
Ooh,
making a fan made Jason Voorhees film right now.
dude, that sounds awesome. Maybe I can
And
be his final girl so I don't have to scream.
hey, I'll try and see if I can set that up for you.
Hey,
How
let me
about that?
know.
But you know what he's adding into it though? Sasquatch. He's making
That's
Jason
okay,
fly
that's awesome.
big.
Yeah, see, that's, like, what we need more in it. That's what I mean, like, these films don't need to take themselves so serious. Like, and
Exactly.
adding Bigfoot, I think, is just a great touch.
As a matter of fact,
Definitely,
oh,
I wanna see that
sorry.
movie when it's made. Hopefully, I can be in it, but if not, I wanna see this movie when it's made.
He's filming it right now. I'll let you know as soon as possible. Jason
Yes.
Pitts is a great director. I watched his movie Alone. It's actually on YouTube right now. You can watch that film for free. It's getting a lot of buzz at independent film festivals right now. So, and I
Ooh,
also
let me
interviewed him.
hold on, let me look this up. I feel like is it n when did it come out?
It's like fairly new. I actually got to interview him a couple of months back.
Okay,
Just type in Jason Pitts Alone, and it'll pull it up.
Alone, Jason Pitts, because I feel like I've seen this movie. I
I
know
may have
I'm
been
like
born in the
stalling time. I'm
2000s,
so
but
sorry.
no. Nessa says I may have been born in the 2000s, but I love classic films, especially from the 80s and 90s. Same here. I was born in 85, so I've got a lot of that 80s nostalgia factors and stuff like that, 90s, 2000s era and stuff like that. So yeah,
Yeah, for me, I mean, I was born 93, but like for me, like and I think everyone will tell you this, like who knows me, like I'm definitely like an old soul. Like I love like eight, like I I I should have been born in like the 60s or the 70s to grow up in the 70s and the 80s and like the early 90s because like stuff like this is like such my jam. Like
me too.
I love like these 80s slasher films so much. I think they're like they don't get enough credit and they're such like cult classics that oh, they're just so good.
I agree with you 110% on that. And also too, I mean, you want to know who's actually playing Jason though, and for Jason Pitt's film?
Yes, who?
It's an actor who played on Stranger Things. He played the EMT driver off of season one, I believe.
Oh, that's pretty cool then.
And this dude is buff and everything. This dude is giving 110% is all into it. Because when I interviewed him with Jason and everything, matter of fact, you can actually find that interview on this channel and everything too. So check that out. But this, I like the dedication that this dude's doing for Jason. He's giving him the build, the physique of Jason. He understands how Jason. He's trying to understand how Jason moves. He's doing everything right.
Mhm. See that
So
now that's awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check that one out. Because this is like honestly, this is like one of my favorite Friday the 13th films.
same.
Like
So
definitely. Maybe this new one that your friend's making, maybe it will be like my second favorite or third. Top five maybe. There's so many Friday the
exactly,
13th films, it's ridiculous. But I'm
definitely
not complaining at all.
me either. So is there any other final thoughts as far as this film goes or anything like that? I just want to make sure that you have your points out that you want to actually touch on one last time.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I enjoy this flick. I think it's so underrated. I think it combines the first three films of the Friday the 13th franchise so like neatly and smoothly. It doesn't take itself so serious. We get to see Jason with the potato sack mask, and get to see him with his like his iconic hockey mask. Like you just For me, you get all these like crazy gnarly kills. We get to see Jason actually moving fast, which makes more sense. We get to see like a smarter version of him, kind of with the traps that he makes and stuff. This movie, everyone needs to go rewatch it. I think even though it made the money in 2009, I just don't think people appreciated it as much as they should. Because, like
Definitely
you said,
not.
I don't think people knew what they were getting themselves into. But like, if you're a fan of just like 80s slashers, like this movie is for you.
I definitely agree with you. And Nessa also says people nowadays are too wimpy to watch a good horror film. I think it depends on the tone, on what they're going for, and stuff like that. I think you can ease somebody into a horror film, but it has to be the right kind to actually slowly get them into it.
Yeah.
And that's why I start off with like Don't Breathe, something small to build
Mhm.
up to
Well, that's
getting
the
them
thing
into
though too, is a
everything.
lot of newer a lot of newer horror films, I should say, are going with more of the psychological, like, thriller look on it and are, like, smarter films that actually, like, make you kinda think. This is a movie that you can just, like, watch for, like, a good jump scare or a good, like, kill. Like, these are the movie like, this is just, like, a good slasher movie, I think, that it
Same.
just isn't appreciated enough.
I agree with you. It's definitely underappreciated. It didn't deserve the hate that it got. I saw this movie in twice in theaters. Like I said, I went to the midnight showing with a buddy of mine and everything, and then I went out on a date on in February 14th and took the person I was dating at the time
So
to this film and everything. So, I saw this movie twice in theaters to support this film. I was actually the reason why this movie made bank the way it made bank.
I would
I'm
say
at
you're the one that gave it the $40 million opening
right,
weekend. I knew it.
exactly. Exactly. So that's my final thoughts and my final take on this film. Go on ahead. If you haven't seen the 2009 version of this, go on ahead and check it out. I have it on Blu-ray and everything, but I don't know where it's streaming at. Did you have to rent this movie, or do you know where it's streaming?
Yeah, so I actually watched it on HBO Max,
Okay,
is where
so
I
HBO
watched
Max
it.
is HBO Max is the place to go. So
I know
with that
people
being
hate on it, but it's actually got good stuff on it, people.
definitely.
It's worth the buck.
So with that being said, where can everybody follow you at and everything?
Yeah, you got well, by the way, thank you for having
You're
me on for
welcome.
a second time because this was
You're
so
very
fun.
welcome.
And I'm glad I can talk like horror movies with a fellow horror lover. So that's always nice when you have that. But yeah,
You're
no,
very
you guys
welcome.
can check me out on Instagram and Twitter at Front Page News 9. And I also run my own movie blog on Instagram titled Feature Flicks without the C. And you guys can check me out in the Schmoedown, guys. Boston Badass coming your way.
Exactly. And tell Sam I said hi, even though he doesn't know me. But
Of course I
I've been
will.
following.
I'll give
But
them love for you.
okay, thank you. I do appreciate that. But anyways, guys, if you guys want to, go on ahead and donate to St. Jude's Hospital and everything, and the link below. I teamed up with Two Blur Girls podcast. They're doing their Malcolm X review for the book and everything that they read up on and everything. They're actually doing their show right now. But go on ahead, donate a couple of dollars towards St. Jude's Hospital, buy some Sensies, and all the stuff goes over to St. Jude's. And then, of course, guys, if you want to, go on ahead and follow me on Facebook. I'm Movie Lovers, TV Lovers Night over there. And then also, too, underneath the same name brand on Pinterest and on Instagram as well. You can get an audio only episode of this where you guys get your podcast from. Also, too, rate me on Good Pods. That's a new app if you're into podcasting or if you're listening to podcasts and stuff like that. Rate me on Good Pods. You can actually rate individual episodes of each thing and comment and like. Matter of fact, I've been helping Christian Harloff a lot with his rankings. He's actually ranked number 35 right now. So I'm trying to help him build up his rep on Good Pods and everything. And I've been tweeting the poor guy out every single time I turn around when it comes down to the big thing podcast. But go on ahead, show him some support as well. He deserves it. Then, of course, go on ahead and do this for me, guys. Just go on ahead, follow me on Twitter as well at Movie Lovers Unit over there. Of course, if you're a sponsor would like to get in touch with me on the show, just go on ahead and email me at movieloversunite@gmail.com. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. Also, too, there's actually a little button here on YouTube that now, for some stupid reason, they decided to add a bell. So without that bell, if you don't click that bell, you're not going to know when we're actually doing YouTube shows or anything like that. So
Yes,
therefore,
it
you hit that.
notifies you people, so you'll have a
Exactly.
reminder.
Thank you for that, Paige. I do appreciate that. backing me up. I like that. So, hey, Boston strong. So with
Exactly.
that, with that being said, guys, go on ahead, smash that like button, smash that share button, let everybody know about Movie Lovers Unite. Follow Paige on her blog. Follow her. Also to support her on the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. She's a great competitor. I've been rooting for her. So go on ahead, follow her, do all that other stuff. Always until next time, guys. It's been real, it's been fun. I can't wait to do this again, and bye-bye.